fittingly for this particular video, it is actually really cold today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit nippy. Few pieces of media have had as transformative an effect on pop culture as Game of Thrones. While the show has been generally well received, one sticking point for critics, fans and even the actors on the show is that nobody ever seems to wear a hat. Something that has apparently led to all kinds of arguments behind the scenes with producers.
So Karl, this is normally the point in the video where I'll say, for the people who don't know, what's Game of Thrones? But
we're not going to do that today because every fucker knows what Game of Thrones is. And if you don't, congratulations on getting Wi-Fi under that rock. But just so we've got a jumping off point for the conversation, I'll say that the majority of the show takes place in a fictional continent called Westeros, which is diplomatically described as being cold as all balls.
Well, I mean, during the summer seasons, it's only really the north and beyond the wall that's cold. If you want to be a nerd.
Yeah, but it's the thing is though, how much of Westeros is the north for some reason? And that's what I found out. Essos, isn't that because it's in the east?
Yeah, and there's Sartorius in the south.
That's fucking bull. What's the north one called?
I don't remember.
I bet there is. Let us know in the comments. Actually, let's put it below. Don't let me know in the comments. Can't be asked. I'm not reading them. But when I found that out, it's called Westeros and Essos. It's that's top tier. George R.R. Martin, how do you do it? It's like the level of writing of that's like J.K. Rowling of the Mirror of Erised, and it's just desire backwards. That's not right. What?
The north is called the North. And do you know what North of the Wall's called?
What?
North of the Wall.
I completely forgot. God, man, this series is fucked up. So someone pointed out to me as well that the Lannisters and the Starks is based on the fight between Lancaster and York.
Yeah, it's the War of the Roses.
The War of the Roses. Lancaster, Lannisters, York, Stark. George R.R. Martin, what are you doing? Is he just is there anything original in this world anymore?
I think, isn't the Vale of Arryn Wales?
Just most of it is, yeah. And then there's
Wales or Ireland, I can't remember.
And then all of the accents in the show, have you heard about this? Westeros is a stand-in for the UK as a whole, kind of. And a neat little thing about the casting of Game of Thrones I like is that the accents of the majority of the actors and where they're based in Westeros generally translates geographically to the UK. So you've got the North, and who's up the North? The Starks. The patriarch of a Stark family, Sean fucking Bean. What does he speak with? The thickest northern accent ever. And then you go back down south, you've got Charles Dance, southern accent. Go beyond the wall, you get the Wildlings. Who have you got there? Scottish people.
There's loads of extra stuff.
No, but it keeps going as well. Then you go to Dawn and all that sort of stuff. So translate that geographically to the UK. It's Spain, that sort of area. Get people with Spanish accents in. And the reason I love that is because it's an Easter egg that only British people will get. Because Americans already have enough trouble understanding British accents. But when I watched it and that was pointed out to me, I went, oh yeah, people in the North do generally speak with Northern accents. And people in the South, that's really cool. And that's a neat little nod to the fact it's roughly analogous to the UK. It's not one-to-one because some of the actors didn't want to change their accent. The most famous of them being Sean fucking Bean.
Yeah.
Because the reason they did this originally is because Sean Bean was him and Peter Dinklage were the only two actors who there was no one else for their role. It was they were going to get the role or they were not going to get someone in to do it. And Sean Bean was asked originally, can you put on a different accent? And he went, no. Because all of the people they hired to play his kids all spoke with a different accent to him. And when they asked Sean Bean, do you mind putting on a different accent? He went, no. So they made all of his kids learn his accent. And the only one who committed to it was Kit Harington.
He fully committed.
Yeah, but everyone else kind of did it a little bit, but only Kit Harington actually, apparently, do you know what he did? He watched Sean Bean's O2 advert over and over again. So, O2, connecting people. He watched that over and over again to learn how to emulate Sean Bean. All the other actors are nah, fuck it, I'll do it a little bit. Because you got Arya and Sansa, they don't sound like Sean Bean. I want to hear a proper thick Sheffield accent on Sansa fucking Stark. That's it. Oh, that little thing that I do in our kid. I want to hear that shit. I want strong northern accents on all the women, all the Stark women. Oh man, that's the best reason I'm getting so northern talking about this. But the story is though, it's a fantastic fucking interview. Kit Harington says, so why do you speak, I think it's with a London accent, doesn't it? So why do you speak with a northern accent? Well, I was approached and they told me that we've all got to learn to talk like Sean Bean. Because they asked Sean Bean if he'd change his accent and he just sent back a single word of reply, no. And that's it.
I think I mentioned before as well, there's a story that because Nikolaj CosterWaldau isn't...
He's not a native
he's not
English
a native
speaker, is
English
he?
speaker. He has certain distinctive features to his accent when he speaks for the show.
Yeah, he's emulating what is very clearly like a traditional like received pronunciation accent, but he has those little twangs to it that obviously is the result of the fact he's not a native speaker.
Yeah, and then obviously it was Peter Dinklage and Charles Dance, I think, picked up on them and added them into their own
So it sounds like it's a family trait, like with this really high class has its own distinct dialect.
That is the Westerlands, that's the accent.
You've got fucking Sean Bean.
Fucking Sean Bean.
You don't get. I love you, Sean Bean.
First of his name.
Why do you know when Kit Harington commit? It's no wonder he became the poster boy. He committed the hardest.
Oh man, the best thing with Kit Harington though, that's that sketch they did where he's like at dinner. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, he's at dinner with some people dressed as Jon Snow, and they're all like, oh, he's brought my friend John along. And every time they talk about something, he comes in with some harsh story. Like when someone goes, oh, it's getting pretty nippy outside now. It's getting towards winter. And he goes, yeah, winter. With winds so cold, it'll freeze your little prick right off. And then the guy who brought him takes him outside and goes, John, you're doing it again. You're being too dark and broody. I'm really sorry. And then someone's like, oh, so John, tell us about your family. My father had his head cut off by the king.
I like the story of how Kit Harington actually got the gig, because apparently the day before he went to audition for Game of Thrones, he went on a date and he took his date to McDonald's. And apparently while he was there, some guy gave his girlfriend a bunch of shit. So him being like, the chivalrous bloke, he sort of went, don't speak to my lady friend like that. And the guy stood up and apparently he was like a foot taller than he was and just laid him the fuck out. And he went to his audition with a black eye.
The proper shiner.
But apparently though, like that's one of the he thinks it helped him get the gig. 'Cause they saw like, oh yeah, he can still look good even when he's got half his face smashed in.
I remember the story that when there was obviously the secret that his character was going to come back.
Yeah.
He said that there was only one person out of everyone that he told the truth to, and it was to get out a parking ticket. Yeah. It was a speeding ticket, I think. He told that some guy was like, "Tell you what, I won't give you a ticket if you tell me if your character survives."
Yeah, are you in the next season or not? Yeah, I am. I loved all that stuff that they made him do though, where they made him cut his hair to throw people off the scent of whether he'd be in the next season or not. Because then if he'd not cut his hair, he's definitely in it. Game of Thrones gets spoiled all the time by its own marketing. Like there's no way you can't avoid it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the most recent trailer for the next season, it's very obvious that Jon is going to be riding alongside Dany on the dragon named after, spoilers, his dad.
I just love that. Though. I heard someone put once before, do you know the first time dragons arrive in battle? Like every other person just get a raven and it says give up. It's like, what do you do against that? So I remember reading an interview with like the VFX design. So how have the dragons changed in like season 7? Oh, they're the size of Boeing 747s now. To give up, don't fight that.
The thing I found interesting as well is the fans' take on incest. Because obviously when it was first portrayed in the first episode ever, everyone was like, "Oh my god, disgusting!" And then when they found out that Jon and Dany were related, everyone was like, "But they're cute together."
Yeah, you need to make perfect dragon babies. Before we get too off topic, the long and short of it is, most of Westeros is fucking cold, as evidenced by the fact most of the characters seen living there wear about 40 pounds of wolf pelts at all times. The thing about Westeros, though, it's not that it's just cold. It's almost inhospitably cold. So there is literally a section of Westeros so cold, the only people who live there are nomadic tribes of bearded badasses and literal ice zombies.
Well, yeah, for the winters that come, because they can last this particular one's meant to last 10 years.
Yeah.
And they have to collect the supplies for the winter before the winter because they can't go out and collect anything because everything's dead or hiding.
Yeah.
So it's like you literally can't survive out in that cold.
And yet, none of the main characters wear a hat. And before that one person in the comment goes, "Oh, in this scene you can see one," yes, there are background extras who wear hats. And that's because according to costume designers for the show, the producer said, dress the people in the back or the foot you want, I don't care. But main characters never wear hats. So why? No, we need to see their faces at all times. And apparently the costume designers get really pissed off about this and have clashed numerous times. It's like, why can't we wear they're stood on top of a literal wall of ice and they're stood out there going, "It's fucking cold, innit? Baltic out there, mate.
Literally talking to each other about how cold it is.
While there were extras in the back, I'd say putting extras in hats somehow makes it worse. Because like you could maybe argue that maybe in this universe they just don't know what hats are. No one figured out how to make a hat. But when you see an extra in the background wearing a hat, and you've got the main character who's more important and outranks them, freezing their bollocks off. Oh man. We heard as well like, how they dress some of the extras in Game of Thrones. Like, they make them wear, like, do you know the wolf pelt things? Yeah. For the main characters, obviously, they like cost hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. But for the people in the back, they just got £40 Ikea rugs and just cut head holes in them and make them wear them with like just faux leather over top.
That's my next costume party.
That's it. If anyone wants to do a cheap Game of Thrones costume, just do that.
I'll tell you about a party. They're like, who are you? Game of Thrones extra.
I think I went to a party with a mate of mine who kind of looks like the guy who plays Robb Stark.
Yeah.
And we went to a Halloween party and he dressed like Robb Stark, but he kept introducing himself as Throb Stark to all the girls at the party. And I went in a luchador mask and a suit. Ugh.
See, my annoying one is that when I was at like my peak overweightness with my long hair and a beard.
Were you Samwell
Tarly.
No.
And the thing was, someone sent me a picture once, and I looked at it and went, oh, it's me. And then I was like, oh no, it's not me. It's the actor who plays Sam.
I see like pictures of Bo Burnham.
Yeah. The most recent one was someone sent me a picture of, it was Jack Black, but he was like red faced like that in a picture, and I thought it was me. Because apparently, I do get Jack Black every now and then. See, for people who've never seen my face, I just imagine Jack Black.
There we go.
But it wasn't just Jack Black; it was red-faced Jack Black.
Oh, that's I love the costume designs. Like, we spent a fucking fortune doing this, but people at back put IKEA rugs on them. And there's a lot of like hidden detail in the costumes people might not realise.
There's loads.
My favourite one being like Joe for all the prostitute characters, because in Game of there's a lot of prostitutes in Game of Thrones.
Of course, you're going down.
All of their costumes are designed for like to be removed as quickly as possible. So if you look at the costumes worn by prostitutes, they always have like just a single bit where you can just undo it and take it off straight away.
Yeah.
And I think they always, for people who are in like battle scenes and stuff, they age them realistically by just running around in dirt. And then you got like, I think Daenerys as well. Like over the seasons, her outfit has steadily got like more lizard-like. So if you compare like her dress at the start of like the seasons and then towards the end, you can see it's got like more scales on it to show she's becoming more and more dragon-like.
I know that the designs on the Tyrell clothing are always fantastic. Or Tyrell, I think it's in the show.
Yeah.
Because they've got like the like flowers carved into everything.
Yeah.
They've got like really ornate designs and literally everything they wear.
And there's people in the background with IKEA rugs on their head. It's all good. It's all good.
That's my Game of Thrones.
That's what I want that. I want pots and pans robot style, that level of quality in my Game of Thrones.
There's just one extra that they're like, oh, we need some foreground action here, and he walks in front, you can just see the IKEA tag on the rug.
Well, he's carrying the bag, the big fucking blue bag.
He's got like a flat packed castle. So you've just covered why most of the main cast will never be seen wearing hats.
Yes.
But the title specifically singles out Jon Snow.
Yes, like, as I mentioned previously, like, the producers and the costume designers clash about this fact all the time, but even the actors get annoyed about the fact they can't wear hats. One, because it's like a logical inconsistency in the universe of the show. Like, why wouldn't I be wearing a hat? It's really cold. But also, because where they film, fun fact, it's actually kind of cold sometimes. And according to Kit Harington, like, not only is he not allowed to wear a hat during scenes, he can't wear it between takes. So which means he can't wear a hat when, like, the camera's not rolling because it might mess up his hair.
I mean, have you seen that hair? Does he need a hat?
The thing is that they tell him not to, so he's sometimes stood there, not filming, in full costumes like that. Because he can't wear that because they might mess his hair. Obviously, sometimes they spend hours per day, like, getting their hair look like just the way they want it to. And in some cases, they make it look specifically shitty. And the worry is that if you put a hat on, your hair might look less shit. Which means that genuinely, Jon Snow cannot wear a hat in some episodes of Game of Thrones. Like, even when the camera's not on, because it might make his hair look less shit.
Seeing as we're on the topic of incredibly inappropriate attire for walking through snowy areas.
Yes.
Did you climb a mountain this weekend in a fucking, like, shirt and jeans?
Skinny jeans, mate. Get it right. Yes, I climbed, like, half a mountain. And you better put the pictures behind me, because this is really funny. I think I went to the Lake District where we have, fun fact in England, we do have mountains. They're not very high, but they count. And they had snow on top.
Yeah.
And I climbed up one, with some friends, and just walked up. And I walked almost the entire way up just wearing a shirt and a t-shirt and skinny jeans and a pair of walking boots. And it was just a picture of me just in the snow like a jackass like this, just surrounded. Loads of people thought it was Photoshop.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm kind of honoured that people think that my skills are that good that I could Photoshop you in front of that green screen
This piece of
into
shit.
the snow. I can barely get a decent key from that as it is.
It just cracked me up. I thought, well, why do people think it's... And I realised, actually no, because most people's idea of a mountain is like 14 like Everest. They don't realise it's actually just... it's like walking up a very big hill for 2 hours straight at like this angle. Yeah, so eventually you'll be quite high.
It's because our mountains are in like ranges of mountains and hills.
Yes.
So like I was saying to Karl, obviously if you walked all the way to the top of it, a big chunk of that is already higher from sea level.
Yes.
So you're not going to be walking like, say it's like 2,500 meters tall. You're probably only walking like 1,000 meters of that because the rest of it's already where the land rises naturally.
But it just looks really good.
It does look dumb.
To see this picture of me in a fucking shirt atop a mountain.
Additional details as well. Before Karl went for this walk, he was like, oh, so am I right to do it in trainers?
Yeah, I was almost going to make the trip in Converse, and I'm glad I didn't, because they said you can try, but we wouldn't recommend it because the next day we tried to climb another one, and I put a coat on that time thinking, that's a better idea, it's kind of nippy today. And we got all the way up, and then we got, I think not lost, but we lost track of the path, because it was like, if you've ever played Skyrim was happening atop that mountain to the point where we nearly got blown off the fucking edge. So he's like, when we stood there, and there's a picture of me else you can put behind where I'm like a foot deep in fucking snow.
What a fucking hell. Like, did you not think when you got there and looked up and saw that there was still snow on the peaks?
But I didn't think we'd go that high. I thought, well, surely we're not going that high. We're just going to walk like, a bit
you went
up
there under the pretense of climbing the mountain.
You
were supposed to go higher.
But we got like halfway up, and then it's like a little bit of snow, Before it, bam, snow everywhere. But at that point, you're walking up, like, you're basically like climbing a flight of stairs for like 2 hours straight. You're boiling up. You don't want to wear your coat when you get to the top.
Did you have gloves?
I had some gloves, yeah.
Right.
I had fingerless gloves.
Fucking
Also, the jeans had rips in them. So I was wearing ripped jeans.
I'm surprised you didn't come down with frostbite.
No, the thing is, though, just out of frame with these photos is the mate who took us there, who was the most prepared, wearing shorts.
Wait, you went up in shorts?
In shorts. Yeah, I had a good day.
I mean, it looked like
the thing is, though, speaking of like inappropriate weather, I've also walked along the Great Wall of China. And I walked that in black skinny jeans and trainers. And we went on the forbidden part, which is the part where they don't maintain it and they don't like patrol it. We walked all the way up there, and that's the video of me shouting the word penis from the top of it. I think I walked around, what is it now, St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
I walked around that when I went to Europe. I was just wearing like a coat and I had headphones listening to Rhapsody of Fire. So I was listening to power metal in St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah, when I first arrived in Rome, I was wearing jeans and a hoodie.
Yeah.
And the temperature there, I think it was during a thunderstorm, but the temperature there was so warm. And I got to the hotel like, I need to put something else on even though it's raining because I'm like cooking. But no, I can't say I've ever climbed up a mountain in the snow. I don't know if shorts is worse.
Yeah. The thing is, he's used to it.
Yeah.
The guy who took us, like,
Did he at least have like high socks on?
No, he had trainer socks on. And the worst bit is like you put your foot in the snow and the snow goes into your boots. So the boots are waterproof so the water doesn't come out. So,
did you get water in them then?
Yeah, we all did.
I told you they're going to get...
We all fell down.
Yeah.
We all fell down the hill. But you know what? I did all right.
Yeah.
The thing is, I took a hat with me and I lost the hat. Because it blew off.
Did it blow off?
No, it didn't blow off my head. I took it off, stuck up that photo of me there, and then forgot, like, thinking, oh yeah, because I don't want to have, like, my hair all messed up. And then I forgot to pick it back up. So I walked the rest of the way without a fucking hat. So somewhere in, like, the Lake District, just a red hat knocking about. If you find it, send it to me.
Did I ever tell you the story of me recovering my drink on that train?
Oh yeah, it was
that?
You left your drink on a train and you got on the same train and it's way back.
I left my drink on a train because my train was cancelled. I had to run onto another one. But then when I got to the next platform, the next station, like half an hour later, the train that came to pick me up was the same one, and I went to the same table, and my drink was there, and I sat down across the table from one of the guys who was already on that train anyway, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, can you pass me that drink, please? It's mine." And he was like, "You just got on the train."
No, it's mine, mate. Mine. Oh, good.